Chris Mackowski for Emerging Civil War with my good friend and colleague Dave Powell. We are at the West Coast Civil War Roundtable Conference. And Dave gave a great presentation today about the battles of Chickamauga. And Dave, do you know anybody who's written some good books on Chattanooga?
I've kept my ear to the ground, and I've heard that there is a trilogy on the Battle of Chickamauga.
So, I first mentioned Chickamauga, and then he did speak on Chickamauga yesterday, and then Chattanooga today.
And on Chattanooga, we have the volumes Battle Above the Clouds and All Hell Can't Stop Them that are firmly in the emergent Civil War lexicon.
So some great books. And you had a really interesting premise today when you were talking about Chattanooga, and you used a quote that came after the war about Chattanooga being the best planned battle as attributed to Grant.
Yes.
Tell me about that and why that maybe is a misnomer.
Well, it was an effort to kind of bolster Grant's reputation. Look at this great commander. Look at how carefully he planned everything, and it all came off perfectly, like clockwork.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And we know, as historians, that it did not go off like clockwork. And I feel that actually many things went wrong, and Grant reacted and adapted. And that is the mark of a true great commander, to deal with unforeseen circumstances and to deal with adversity. So I actually think it diminishes Grant's reputation to suggest that it's just this carefully planned set-piece battle.
So in fact, his greatness is not because it was so well planned, but because he adapted and improvised.
As so many Civil War generals could not.
Yeah. And that's something like Grant's reputation, of course, Grant the Butcher, and he's not given credit as being an innovative, adaptable sort of guy. But I always thought that's one of his key tools in his toolbox, is his ability to adapt on the fly and pull that out when necessary, and then find success out of the jaws of defeat.
Yes. There are many things in history or in military history that Grant makes mistakes like any other commander, but he has perseverance, and he deals well with adversity. The Vicksburg campaign, it's hard to look at the Vicksburg campaign and walk away saying, well, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. It's a masterpiece of maneuver. And yes, he's fighting against a couple of commanders who maybe aren't masters of the art of war. But
we're taping a video. But thank you very much. Yes, that's all right. We are too.
So I think it says more about Grant. About adaptability and the ability to overcome adversity.
Give me an example of Chattanooga where he planned something and it didn't go as planned.
Well, his primary attack was he put all his weight with Sherman at the north end of Missionary Ridge. And Sherman dropped the ball. Sherman didn't capture the north end of the ridge, never took the position he was assigned to capture. Grant adapted by attempting a demonstration at the foot of the ridge, and he got very lucky. There's no question that when the Federal Army, when the Army of the Cumberland started to go up Missionary Ridge, and suddenly the Confederates broke and things became a shambles, that could have gone very wrong. But Grant benefited, and many other generals would not have even tried.
So he really, we get sold a different bill of goods about Grant and Chattanooga than really kind of what happened. Whereas that adaptability sort of gets the short shrift when you talk about how well planned it was then.
Yes, I believe so.
Now you also brought up something important about, like, this is the kind of the key breakout moment for Grant in his career. Whereas people look at maybe Vicksburg, or they look at the Overland Campaign. Tell me why you think Chattanooga is his breakout moment.
Well, after the success at Vicksburg, his army went quiescent. They basically went on occupation duties, and people started to talk about breaking up his army and sending it to different parts of the country. He was not assigned any new dramatic missions.
And he wanted to go after Mobile, and Halleck was like, no.
Right,
no. Yeah.
Exactly. But then the crisis erupts here at Chattanooga, and suddenly Grant is given the task of fixing what's gone wrong, solving the problem. And He's assigned. He arrives here at the end of October, and within a month, the Confederates are routed and defeated. Again, there's equal mixtures of skill and luck. A lot of luck involved.
A lot of luck.
But that convinces the Lincoln administration that this is our man.
Yeah.
This, I think, Chattanooga is what gives him that promotion in March of 1864. He's going to conduct the war effort.
And I always thought it was very telling when he agrees after the war and he's finally writing that series of articles for the Century magazine. And he agrees to write about Shiloh and the wilderness and Vicksburg and Appomattox. And he changes his mind, and instead of writing about Appomattox, wants to write about Chattanooga.
Yes.
And I think that says a lot about how important he thought Chattanooga was, because he swapped out Appomattox on that.
Yes. He understood it was a pivotal moment in his career.
Yeah.
And the rest is history. I think Chattanooga took him into the White House.
Yeah. I think so too. So Dave's got a couple great books about Chattanooga. Tell us again.
Battle Above the Clouds and All Hell Can't Stop Them. Two matched ECW volumes that read one after the other. And tell a ripping good tale.
And with the anniversary of the Battle of Chattanooga coming up, definitely worth the read right now so you can refresh yourself for the anniversary.
Absolutely.
Dave Powell, thanks so much for taking a second to talk with us.
Thank you.